So our next thing is, are t-shirts available to exhibitors? Are they free? How much do they cost? So I'll ask Eugene and Josh, do either of you have t-shirts from previous festivals?
Yeah.
I do.
Yes, and so
we had
those are available for purchase on festival day. They are normally pretty cute. They've got our little robot on them. This year they're going to be green with our robot and some STEAM featured elements on it. Adult t-shirts are going to be $25 and youth t-shirts are $18. But again, those are not free to exhibitors. Next thing is, does the event run regardless of rain or bad weather conditions? This is another thing that I can answer. So imagine Upstate is rain or shine. We do plan to have the event at all costs, but if inclement weather does arise, like lightning, storming, bad wind, we will try to promptly come up with a plan and relay it to all of our exhibitors. So each exhibit has a central contact person that we have marked in our records, and we will try to contact all of you as soon as possible. And we will also be walking the festival site, and if something comes up, we will let you all know as we walk along the festival site. So next thing is, any communication tips for day of? So our panelists, what have you guys done to make sure all your staff is on the right page, making sure that everything goes smoothly?
So in our experience, in terms of communication, we definitely want to make sure our volunteers they have great communication before the event. So sending out emails the week before, sending out emails the day before, just to make sure that they know what shift they're on, what time they should be there, what to expect once they get there. If you guys have, if you're going to buy a shirt or you have, company shirts with your logo, make sure they know what to wear. And then, once you guys are there, express what that activity looks like, how to run it, how to communicate with kids, and what happens. And then obviously safety communication, making sure if anything goes wrong or if anything happens, you guys know who to contact or what to go do from there. So there's no such thing as too much communication. I do think that just making sure that everything is laid out, and if you don't know what to go, they have a point of contact within your booth. I think that's a great idea as well. So
yeah, I think Josh pretty much answered it. I mean, that's exactly how we handle it. We'll usually have a team meeting on Friday. At what point we'll go ahead and preload everything into the vehicle, so then when we get up and leave Saturday morning, everything is already loaded. And so, but yeah, it's all about just maintaining a continuous flow of communication. So
For sure. Thank you,
and
guys.
most of that is email and text. Email and text is what I have found too that works well, because they're mobile.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, making sure everybody's got their phone. So making sure whatever you're communicating with is something they can connect to mobily.
Absolutely. And so just to add to that, we do recommend that when you're coordinating all the staffing and volunteers for your exhibit day of, that everyone has each other's phone numbers and that they're actually saved as contacts in their phone and not just a mystery number that might be texting or calling them, just so that everyone can effectively communicate. Make sure that before festival day, everyone that is working the booth is familiar with your activity and knows how to explain it to our attendees. That just helps everything run smoothly and doesn't leave anyone confused in the process. It might be a good idea to prepare a little blurb for all of your staff to say at your exhibit to explain what your organization does and who you are, because we do want you guys to be able to promote what you're doing, try to get people engaged in your field. So it is helpful to have a little pre-prepared little speech, a little elevator speech you can give to people. And visuals are always helpful. So if you want to lead people to your website, or if your activity involves a website, QR codes are very helpful. Other little visuals with the instructions, all of that can help communication go much smoother. So next question is a question for me. It's, how hard is the end time for the event? Will there be announcements to know that everyone needs to leave and shut down the exhibits? So our festival runs from 11 to 5. And that 5 p.m. is a hard end time. Professional party rentals will be coming in to tear all of the tents and tables down at that time. And so we really don't want to go over 5 p.m. We won't be making announcements throughout the festival site, but the festival staff will be walking up and down, alerting everyone that it's time, making sure everyone's aware that it's 5 p.m. And helping you guys out. So the next question is, what should I wear on festival day? Do I need to wear an Imagine t-shirt? Should I wear my organization's t-shirts? What do our panelists have to say about that?
Josh, I'll let you answer first.
All right. Yeah, so I think in the past, we've had our organization shirts that we've worn while we commit our booth. So if that's, something that just kind of reiterates that you are part of the booth, that you know what's going on, you are running the activity. And so when they come up to the booth of the tent, they know who to talk to, how do they participate, what needs to happen. There will be people wearing Imagine shirts, and I think those are the people who are kind of a part of the board and kind of, have those answers. So I do think there's a little bit of a distinction there, but if you want to wear Imagine shirt or anything, I think that's fine as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way we have done it in the past. If we're working our booth, then we have on our uniform shirt. If we're volunteering with Imagine, then I usually switch shirts just so it's really easy for people to identify. So.
For sure. Yeah, and so they both nailed it hit nail on the head. So we want you guys to wear whatever your organization has advised you to wear. We think it works best if you wear branded apparel. So apparel that has your company name embroidered on it or any other markings that let them know that you are an exhibitor. And again, we want you guys to rep your organization, your business. You are welcome to purchase Imagine t-shirts. If you want to wear them, that's fine. But we are going to have our volunteers and our staff wearing t-shirts. And so we kind of want to make that distinction between the staff, who should I go to and I have questions, versus our exhibitors. So last little question here is, what else should I bring on festival day? Panelists, what has been helpful for you guys to bring that we haven't already discussed? Any little tips or tricks that go with that?
Well, I would think for us, the things we have wished we had brought in the past, and this may sound silly, but some, paper towels, or maybe even, just something to clean up if somebody spills the water, just so you can soak up the water so it doesn't mess up your tent or mess up your table if you've got parts on it or exhibits on it. And then I know the one year that we did not bring a small cooler with some waters is the year that it was so hot. And so that's the one thing that always stands out in my mind is think about your volunteers, if you're the leader, and the things that you might need to support them would be the thing that I would think about. And so, yeah, bear that in mind when you're kind of planning ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's absolutely right. The cooler, the drinks, stuff like that is pretty important. Depending on what your activity is, making sure that you have chargers enough to charge your devices. If that requires anything electronic, making sure you have enough cards, just supplies that you might be giving out to people. Tablecloths are even a great idea to put on top of the tables inside of the booths in case you want to have activities or people come up there. Cleaning supplies are also very well, but I mean, obviously the more stuff, you're always prepared. But if you forget something, we could definitely take care of that on festival day.
For sure.
I would say this too as well, because it just dawned on me. If you please remember, you're outside. Sometimes you will get gusts of wind. So the staff don't typically provide like sandbags or something to weight down banners. And so if you don't want your banners flipping over, you may want to think about bringing something just to put some weight on them so they don't topple over when a gust of wind comes through. Otherwise, you'll do like we did the one year where we chased them the whole time until I finally took them down. So think about that as well. The
That's a
tent don't move, but the banners will.
That's a great point. And being in April, we never know what the weather is going to bring here in South Carolina. So just be prepared. That's definitely the point of advice there. But some other things that we kind of thought of, depending on your activity, you might want some scissors, tape. If it's going to be really bright, sunny out there, you might want sunscreen. If it's going to be cold, you might want to bring jackets, any snacks for your volunteers, pens, Sharpies, anything like that, just small things that might come in handy on festival day. Better to bring too much than to be missing something. So just be prepared.